Hi everyone, welcome to this afternoon's webinar, Climate Studies for Minority Serving Institutions, an overview of opportunities with Second Nature and the American Meteorological Society. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about some great opportunities through an educational program with AMS and partnership with Second Nature. And to get us started this afternoon, we'll be hearing from Dr. Bray, the director of the AMS Education program. We'll also be hearing from two professors who have participated in some of the opportunities that we'll be covering from Coppin State University and Monroe Community College. And later in the afternoon, we'll have a nice opportunity for some question and answer, and our program manager at Second Nature, Van Du, will be on hand to answer any questions that we have. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Bray to get us started discussing these opportunities. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you all for joining us. I'm very happy to be with you today to talk about a very exciting partnership between AMS and Second Nature and the American College and University President's Climate Commitment. American Meteorological Society has a substantive professional development for K-12 teachers as well as undergraduate institutions, and one of our proudest activities is our diversity program, and we'll be talking about that this afternoon. Specifically, I want to talk about strengthening climate change and sustainability-focused curricula at a CUPCC signatory institution. Next slide, please. There are many reasons to study climate change and have climate change curricula as part of a sustainability program at a college, whether it be a minority-serving institution or some other type of institution. The footprints of climate change are all around us. Our record low Arctic sea ice in September of 2012, 10 warmest years in the global climate record, retreating mountain glaciers, significant loss of ice mass on Greenland and the West Antarctic ice sheet. The list goes on. The NSF has underscored the need for increasing public literacy in the Earth system science, including climate science literacy, and the need for preparing a highly skilled scientific workforce reflecting the nation's diversity. Next slide, please. Investigating the Earth system is the prime occupation of the AMS Education program, and we try to interpret those investigations for all kinds of users. We do this through undergraduate courses and very specifically for minority institutions through our diversity projects. And this is a bit about how we raise scientific literacy. The AMS Education program has been in existence since about 1992, and it's AMS's commitment to providing an educational component to the society and to the nation. And why do we do what we do? Well, we've got a number of particular reasons or missions, and that's the next slide, please. We've been around for about 100 years. We have about 14,000 members, and we organize over a dozen conferences annually. We publish leading scientific journals and certify consultants and broadcasters. You probably have seen the AMS Seal of Approval or Certified Broadcast Meteorologist Seal on your TV weather shows. We've done significant educational activities since 1990, and we are a nonprofit. Our mission as AMS in general is to promote the development and dissemination of information and education on the atmospheric and related oceanic and hydrologic sciences and the advancement of their professional applications in service to society. And that service to society is real large in terms of our mission. Next, please. The AMS Education program mission is not quite that mouthful. It is a much tighter mission, and we try to utilize our limited resources to really have significant impact. We try to better equip students in science and math through professional development opportunities for their teachers, and we try to do that nationwide. We also have innovative undergraduate course packages licensed to universities, colleges, community colleges, training programs, and just about anybody that would like to include some type of instructional or training component in the AMS sciences within their purview. We also like to facilitate the development of partnerships among institutions and individuals. In our work, we come in contact with many groups, many individuals that can, by getting together and collaborating, make the world a better place, and we relish the opportunity to do so. Next, please. Some of the opportunities: we can prepare the next generation of earth scientists by promoting workforce development. We can provide insight into the excitement of earth system science. I've always thought earth science was intrinsically interesting, and many students find it to be that. We particularly want to encourage members of underrepresented groups to aspire to an earth science career. And we use our connections and the brain trust of the members of the society to introduce role models to emulate for students and sometimes for faculty. A little bit about our undergrad courses. Training tomorrow's leaders is our focus, but we don't create anything for children. All of our materials are for adult education. Next, please. We have 3 undergraduate courses: the AMS Weather Studies, the AMS Ocean Studies, and the latest entry is the AMS Climate Studies. These are undergrad earth science courses. They're intro courses where students use real-world and real-time data in their instruction. And there's an emphasis on hands-on investigations and emphasis on critical thinking. These courses are completely designed by and licensed through the American Meteorological Society. They can be offered in a variety of learning environments, including online. And NOAA, NASA, NSF-supported diversity projects have facilitated implementation of all 3 of these courses at minority-serving institutions nationwide. Next, please. The structure of the course is just a thumbnail sketch. They're fully integrated packages. They contain both printed and online learning materials, a comprehensive 15-chapter full-color hardcover textbook that can be served as kind of a reference as students pursue their study, investigations manual with 30 laboratory-style activities, and these labs continue on the course website with real-time, real-world activities for the students. We have extensive resources for course instructors, kind of the typical thing that a commercial publisher, which we are not, would have available. We have for the faculty a good full faculty website, a resource CD with PowerPoints and the images from the textbook, and we have a faculty mentoring program, so if a faculty person is new to teaching this topic, we can have someone kind of lead them through their first semester. All of our materials are course management system compatible to set up for automatic scoring of quizzes and the like. Specifically, AMS Climate Studies is our latest entrant, and it focuses on the science, but also on the societal impacts that students consider relevant. We start off with a foundation of the Earth's climate system, some basic understandings of climate behavior, contributions of human activities to climate change, and societal and ecosystem vulnerability in response to climate variability and change, and the challenge of achieving a sustainable development model. The introduction to widely recognized science-based information is part of the course. USGCRP, the IPCC, all of these are basic data that we build the course around, and also including the climate literacy models developed by NOAA and others. This is a great primer course for students entering green technical programs, perhaps students in green business programs, which are becoming more common. The course has been licensed by nearly 80 institutions since implementation a couple of years ago. Next, please. The course implementation, the instructor is your instructor at your institution. He can or she can be from practically any discipline. The person needs to have some science savvy. The course is offered by your institution, so you fashion our materials in whatever way you want. It can be a setting from a traditional lecture lab-based course face-to-face, or it can be totally online. I've taught these courses in both settings, and they're very versatile. The students are your students. They receive local institutional credit. They receive their grades from you, and they purchase the course materials through their local bookstore or through an online store option that we provide as a courtesy to students. Next, please. Our diversity projects reach those that are underrepresented, and we've specifically carved out a place in our program for this very, very important duty. And our collaborators, NOAA and NASA, are also very committed to more diversity in their workforce. And with declining numbers of people in the workforce through retirement, there is ever more need to attract more students to careers in the earth sciences, both within the established programs of NOAA, NASA, and others, but also in the private sector where job opportunities are growing. Next, please. We've had diversity projects since 2001, and we have initiated the course implementation at minority serving institutions through NSF-supported geoscience, diversity, and national dissemination projects. We started out with our Weather Studies Diversity Project at 145 minority serving institutions. More than 16,000 minority institution students took the weather course based upon the course's introduction through this program. The first meteorology course offered by more than 2/3 of these institutions. So this was something that they didn't have before. We did the same thing when we introduced our Ocean Studies course, and we had a diversity project there with 75 institutions. This was slightly less well funded. It only ran for 3 years with the funding, but more than 800,000 students took the Ocean course through this. And about 50 of the MSIs implemented both courses, creating kind of a seed of an earth science offering within their science department or within their institution. Next, please. The AMS Climate Studies Diversity Project was a natural follow-on. When we introduced the AMS Climate Studies Project, we did so with the intention of creating a diversity project. And our partnership with Second Nature began to involve 100 MSIs over 5 years. And Second Nature and the Climate Commitment were the perfect match for helping find suitable institutions for attracting to this opportunity. Our first workshop has been held. It was May of last year. 28 MSIs were represented by, in some cases, multiple faculty members from their institution. The AMS is recruiting 25 MSI faculty for May 19th through 24, 2013 workshop, and that workshop is expenses paid, and it covers everything. You're not going to have to shell out anything for your expenses. We cover it all. The workshops feature scientists from NASA, NOAA, Howard University, George Mason University, James Madison University, and other research institutions. DC is kind of a hub for climate science in many ways, and we find it easier to get people here to present to the workshop participants when we're in this very exciting town of Washington, D.C. The participants receive all their course materials. The faculty offer the Climate Studies course in the year following the workshop attendance. They also are brought back to our annual meeting for a workshop follow-up prior to the introduction of the course. And of course, we continually update the course material. So with a fast-moving field like climate science, you're not sitting there with obsolete material. We keep right at it. Next, please. The implementation of the AMS Climate Studies course helps the signatory institution fulfill the curriculum component of the Climate Commitment Climate Action Plan. In that it provides an introduction or an enhancement of climate or sustainability-focused curriculum. There's a very good reason for an institution that wants to lower their emissions to have students that have taken a climate course so they understand the science behind what's going on with climate change. We also very actively encourage integration with campus-wide sustainability efforts, and our materials are very, very conducive to that, and we'll hear from a couple of colleagues in a few minutes about how they utilized our climate course as an addition, or they've added it to their sustainability efforts at their institutions. 9 signatory MSIs are currently implementing the AMS Climate Studies course. South Mountain Community College in Arizona, California State University, Monterey Bay in California, Delaware State University, Coppin State University, and Morgan State University in Maryland. We'll hear from a colleague at Coppin State, and Jones County Junior College in Mississippi, New Mexico State University, and NMSU in Grants in New Mexico, and then we'll also hear from a colleague at Monroe Community College. Well, the AMS Weather, Ocean, and Climate Studies have introduced geoscience education to 720 institutions, 329 of which are MSIs, so that's a pretty good record. The turnkey course design makes possible course introduction at MSIs and other institutions globally, and often at places where they're not going to hire a PhD meteorologist or oceanographer or climate scientist or somebody that has a degree in it. It might be taught by a chemist or perhaps a geographer or a geologist. The turnkey course design makes possible course introductions at MSIs and other institutions where it wasn't possible before to get this kind of thing going. Courses encourage additional student exploration of the geosciences, possibly leading to science careers, and of course that is our hope. The inaugural workshop was held last May, and the next offering will be this coming May, and we're still very much in the recruitment phase of that. Offering AMS Climate Studies strengthens the curriculum component of an institution's ACU PCC climate action plan and provides substantive faculty professional development. Next, please. We couldn't do all of this without our friends, and this provides some information about who has provided the grant funding for all of our diversity projects over the years, and we're very, very appreciative, particularly to NSF and NASA for significant funding both for this diversity endeavor as well as the creation of the climate studies course itself. NASA was very much responsible for creating the course materials that are included in the course. These are the logos of our institution, and next is where you can find me if you have any questions or any further need to contact me if you're interested in signing up. We'd be happy to provide you that information. Next, we would like to introduce Minty Giroux, and he is from Coppin State University. He is one of the colleagues that has taken up the call to introduce the climate studies course, and he'll tell us about his program and how he integrates our course with the other very exciting things going on at Coppin State.
Thanks, Jim, and good afternoon, everyone. I will start my presentation by giving you a snapshot of our university and then discuss how the AMS Climate Studies course is helping us implement our pledge to the climate commitment we signed with ACU-PCC. Well, Coppin is an HBCU established in 1900 as a comprehensive urban liberal arts institution. Is located in Baltimore, Maryland, with a current student population of over 4,000 and a full-time faculty of 200. The university is fully committed to promoting environmental sustainability on its campus and neighborhood. In March 2008, Coppin became a signatory of the ACU-PCC, and since then, the university has been taking tangible actions in pursuit of climate neutrality. In 2011, we established the Center for Sustainability and Environmental Justice to advance environmental awareness and engage the university community in sustainability issues. In 2011, we also developed a 10-year comprehensive climate action plan that provides us a strategic direction towards long-term climate neutrality. Next. Last year, we completed a comprehensive greenhouse gas inventory and implemented few tangible actions to reduce our carbon footprint. We decided for all new construction and major renovation projects to meet LEED Green Building standards. We also decided that the climate action plan become an integral part of the university master plan. We just installed or completed the installation of a 500 kilowatt photovoltaic system that would cover about 3.5% of our energy needs. We also signed a shared energy agreement with Energy System Group to upgrade critical infrastructure and reduce the energy usage by about 17% for a saving of over $520,000 annually. On the academic front, next please. On the academic front, we joined the AMS Diversity Project in 2012 to advance environmental education. We participated on a week-long course implementation training organized by AMS in Washington, D.C. in May 2012. The workshop was very refreshing and well-balanced in terms of field visits and presentations. We were then able to get the course approved at the different levels in our university during the fall of 2012. We now have 17 students taking the course for the first time. Next slide. Just to show you how this course is related to our overall sustainability effort on campus, well, as a signatory of the ACU-PCC, we are required to fulfill the curricular aspects of our pledge by providing students with the knowledge and skills needed to meet their social mandates in creating an ethical and civic society. The course undoubtedly enlightens our students with contemporary issues of climate and climate change and prepares them to take part in national and regional dialogues. Next, please. This course has also become a seed for infusing sustainability in other courses. Departments offering courses like physical geography and technology and society are considering to include sustainability principles in their curriculum. This course has also become a seed to start an environmental sustainability track within the Department of Natural Sciences. We are already working on a draft curriculum to start the program by 2014. So there are indeed so many benefits, and we know the best is ahead of us. We thank our partners, the AMS and Second Nature, for this great endeavor, and we call upon other higher learning institutions to join us on this journey. If you have any questions, please ask me at the end, and I now hand over the presentation to my colleague Jason Szymanski from Monroe Community College to share his experiences with the course.
Thanks, Dr. Jerry. Hello. Thanks for inviting me here today. My name is Jason Szymanski. I'm an instructor at MCC, or Monroe Community College, located in Western New York in the city of Rochester. We're a public institution and serve about 18,000 students per semester. And I'd like to talk to you today about the successful implementation of the AMS Climate Studies course at MCC and our connection to Second Nature. Before I talk more about implementing the course, I'd like to first qualify that our college has already had in place a plan for sustainable development. As you can see here on the slide, our institution is a member of the Association for Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Ed and a signatory of the ACU-PCC. Like Copen University, in 2008, we developed a steering committee and signed on to the ACU-PCC, for which I've been a member of since 2011. This committee oversees the college's sustainability initiatives, provides suggestions for additional sustainable improvements, and we seek to educate the college community on all sustainable matters. Next slide, please. We developed a sustainability operational plan with the coordination of the college's planning department. Listed in this plan are goals targeted to communicate best sustainable practices in the community through a variety of methods, chief of which we do through curricula. For example, the operation plan set an annual goal of presenting the college with presentations to the greater Rochester community on best sustainable practices. And since this inception of this plan, the committee has sought to develop a multidisciplinary course in sustainability, which is now currently being offered. Excellent. So I want to give you some past examples of our efforts to promote sustainability in our community. Each year we offer college-wide presentations in April during Earth Week on sustainability-themed topics such as hydrofracking, perceptions of climate change, and alternative energy. This year we're considering facilitating workshops for students for at-home composting. Every fall we ask faculty, staff, and students to participate in Curb Your Car Week. And some of you may know that Rochester was America's first boom town and has an interesting history on transportation and sustainability. Picture below is one of our annual professional developments trips sponsored by the Geoscience Department. The trip you see here is a guided tour on the topics of the city's past and present and future sustainable development. Next slide. Another way MCC is coming closer to a carbon neutral campus is through development of the strong base of sustainability themed courses. Most of these courses are existing courses cross-listed under the recently developed sustainability program. The most recent addition to this program is the AMS Studies course called Climate Change Past, Present, and Future. Last May, I was fortunate enough to be selected to participate in the AMS Climate Studies Diversity Program, which Dr. Bray talked about, where I attended a week-long workshop in DC. I received training on the resources available through the AMS Education office, attended several talks, and went to different field experiences on the topic of current climate change, and met some great networks. This past January, I was invited to present my course implementation plan at the AMS annual conference in Austin. This course is now being offered for the first time this spring semester with 20 students, and things are running terrific. I'm grateful for the AMS for giving me the support I needed to bring the course to MCC. Next fall, I plan to offer the course online with a laboratory component so that students will be able to receive SUNY General Education credits in the natural sciences. Here's just a list also of some of the courses being offered through the sustainability program, and just a sample of what we have. Next slide. Now that we've established sustainability-themed outreach and curricula through our operation plan, we've begun to bring sustainable practices into the greater Rochester community. For example, we're home to the Agricultural and Life Science Institute, which is an organization that fosters partnerships with local farmers. We've become a very globalized community, and we sometimes forget that the wealth of our own resources in our backyard. I think this reflects back on the college with our workforce development program, and we see a large potential for job growth and sustainability in Rochester. For the second year in a row, we've both sponsored and participated in Rochester's annual Greentopia Festival. This festival is dedicated to bring awareness to best sustainable practices, as well as showcase economic and environmental businesses in the area. Pictured here is MCC's booth at the festival, where we offer such programs such as HVAC and engineering, as well as many others. Next slide. Thanks. So I'd like to leave you with some examples of sustainable development at the college since our operational plan went into effect. And pictured here is a subtle but effective use of passive solar heating in a south-facing student lounge area. Next slide, please. The lounge is part of a relatively new LEED certified nursing building, which offers has a white reflective roof to reduce energy costs, array of solar panels which reduce costs, saving something near 30% annually, and space has been remodeled to permit more sunlight in the classes and hallways, automatic motion sensors, and those sort of things. One more slide. Here's some screenshots of the building under construction. You can see our use of light in remodeling, as well as our living wall, where students can enjoy and lounge and work in this area. Next slide, please. So in some ways we're bringing culture, sustainability-minded culture to MCC. This is partly done through the Sustainability Steering Committee, as well as our course offerings and our presentations done throughout the year. We have an excellent paper waste recycling program, which I think actually makes the college some money for doing that. We have an optimal energy savings practices such as the automatic lights. We have numerous pedestrian paths and greenways, and MCC really has a terrific capability to accommodate cyclists. We have changing facilities and showers, and a lot of people take advantage of it. Recently, we developed parking spots reserved for commuters who carpool, and they get premier parking because of that. We have great transportation, public transportation. We have a brand bus line, as well as a free shuttle to and from our downtown campus. The Sustainability Steering Committee recently instituted a green office program where faculty can participate in best sustainable practices. And our LEED building will serve as a template for design and motivation for future building and development here. So I hope this very brief overview of how MCC actively participates in reaching our sustainability goals was informative. I also encourage faculty from other minority-serving institutions to consider taking part in the AMS Climate Studies Diversity Workshop this May, or consider offering the AMS Studies course. They didn't ask me to say that. I really do believe it. It is well conceived and it's well supported. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have during the Q&A session, and thanks again for inviting me to speak as a panelist. So I turn it back to you, Sarah.
Great. Thank you so much to all three of our presenters thus far. Now it's time for Q&A. So audience members will ask you to submit any questions that you have for Dr. Bray, either of our faculty members, or for Van, our program manager here at Second Nature, about the program, options, how to participate, benefits to your institution or to you as a faculty member. You can submit any of those questions in the GoToWebinar question feature in your toolbar to the right-hand side. So to get us started, let me take a minute and just unmute all of our panelists. And Van is going to get us started with a couple of questions for our panelists. Van, would you like to introduce yourself and get us started?
Hello, everyone. This is Van. First of all, I would like to thank all our presenters for such great information on our partnership with AMS, as well as what the workshop entails. And the first question I have is for Dr. Bray. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the criteria or background experience needed for a faculty member to participate in the workshop, the implementation workshop?
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. Also joining me here at AMS is Beth Mills, our Associate Director, and she'll be able to answer some questions as well. But the criteria is really, we want people that are committed to the idea of introducing climate curriculum on their institution, we would like really eager and active faculty members that have some science savvy and hopefully that are involved in efforts at their campus towards sustainability. As far as other kinds of criteria, Beth, do you have anything to mention?
No, I think Jim pretty well covered it. One thing, though, I did want to mention is that, you know, we welcome all faculty members from minority-serving institutions, and this would include historically Black colleges and universities, Hispanic-serving institutions, tribal colleges, and also institutions that have a 25% or greater minority student population. So the qualification is relatively broad for this program, and if you have any specific questions, you know, feel free to follow up with us or ask us, you know, questions during the webinar.
If you don't know if your institution qualifies, we can look that up for you and find that out for you. Are there other questions?
I was saying, likewise, if you're an ACU PCC signatory and if you don't know your MSI status, we can help you as well. And then the second question I have is for Professor Juru as well as Zaminsky. If one of you could just sort of elaborate more on what was your experience attending the workshop and how was your workshop experience have been received by your college, you know, during your implementation process or experience at your college?
Well, the workshop was a great experience. As I mentioned during my presentation, there was a hands-on, very practical field visits to NASA, NOAA, to the National Weather Services, and there were also presentations by various experts in different universities. So to me personally, it was very refreshing, and I have really benefited. Another important side benefit was also the networking. I mean, after that workshop, we have stayed as friends and colleagues, and we are also now partnering with our colleagues. We were also invited to attend the AMS annual conference in Austin. We gave a presentation of our course, so that was really a great opportunity. As far as how the course itself is received by our university, well, I must say that it has become an integral part of our sustainability initiative. The administration has fully approved it. Within a semester, I was able to get it approved from the department all the way through the school and the university curriculum and standards committee. And they did not even wait another year for its offering. They gave me the go-ahead to offer it in the spring. So to me, this course is a real investment in Kappan's future and then also in nurturing our students as climate champions.
I'd like to comment. I had a similar experience at the workshop. It was just fantastic networking with different individuals, the different speakers, and the different field trips, such as the Goddard Space Flight Center to NOAA's Weather and Climate Data Center, and just to see the mechanics and the operations behind all the news and the current events. I mean, this was the original source of this information, and I really felt walking out of there like I had a very wide perspective of all the work done to understand and to moderate climate change. So, and not just in an academic sense, but in a practical sense, which I can apply right to the classroom. Likewise, when I returned to MCC, putting this course forward, it's now part of the sustainability program as the core elective, and it's going to be offered soon online, which we have very few natural science courses which is offered online. And so this will actually enable students to be getting a degree online through Monroe Community College. Yeah.
Great, thank you for both of those responses. Clarification on the experience at the workshop. This is Sarah Brylinski from Second Nature, and I just wanted to point out that I've pulled up the website on the Second Nature Campus Green Builder website, which is where you can go for more information about this partnership and information about applying, the benefits, the benefits in terms of participation in the workshop and subsequent implementation. And so I'll leave this website up, and feel free to browse there while we're finishing up our Q&A. And I believe we have another question from the audience. Van will ask our panelists.
Okay. This question is for Beth and Jim at AMS. We have a question from Santa Fe Community College, and the question is that there are several departments at the institution that may be interested in participating in the workshop. Can there be more than one person apply for this diversity workshop in May?
Yes, there can be more than one person that does apply. Under our funding through the National Science Foundation, we can only fully fund one faculty member to attend the workshop. However, if we do have space like we made available last year, I think we had 2 or 3 institutions where a second faculty member was able to secure funding through their university to also attend. And in those cases, you know, it was very beneficial to their course offering. So an additional faculty member can attend, but they would need to provide their own support.
Great, thank you. And this is Sarah Brylinski from Second Nature again. I have another question for our panelists. A week-long workshop is quite a lot of time investment for a faculty member, particularly for faculty in the summer who use that break from regular classes in the fall and spring to do research or begin working on their own personal projects. So it was great to hear about the experience at the workshop. But I'm wondering, Jim and Beth, if you can talk a little bit more about how that time is used and how AMS has made the best use of faculty time to make sure that it's worth their while for that trip to DC in May.
Well, we've tried to keep people busy with the types of things that we think are important to a faculty person embarking on offering a course like this. And I guess it would fall into sort of three categories. The first is content. We want the person to have the feeling when they're finished with the workshop that they really understand the climate change situation, and we want them to understand that to some depth. So we provide some basic overview of climate, and then we get into the meat of things with some experts that we bring in and through some of the field trips that we have. We also want the people to understand how to offer the course and what might be the best options for them in terms of offering the course. So there is a good deal of time spent on discussing different operational aspects of the course in terms of its offering, how we prepare the materials, how we put the materials out, because our focus very much is on real time. So we have lessons that are sent out every week, for example. We also want to discuss with the participants how they plan to implement it, and we usually have some people around, and last year we had a really nice panel of people that had offered the course already and had offered other courses in our other minority programs to just provide some best practices to the newcomers. So sort of the pedagogical aspects or the teaching aspects are important. And then third, I think it's very, very important to provide people opportunity to network, to get to know each other, to create a community. We find that we really get to know people in a week's time, and that facilitates our interaction on into the years ahead. And of course, we have connections going back to our weather studies diversity course that are very, very valuable to us. We want to know who we're working with, and that network opportunity is really crucial, and to have each cohort feel sort of an ownership to their particular experience is also very important. So I would say content, some of the teaching aspects, and then the networking component are very, very important. We have people start early in the day. We have meals provided, so we don't have to go off-site or that sort of thing. We typically go to the end of the business day, so it's a full day. We have a couple of field trips off-site, and we have the participants bus there, and those folks put together really fine programs. One of the most inspiring was the Howard University graduate students presenting on their research at their climate research facility in Beltsville, Maryland. And it kind of shows what you can do when you have undergrads interested and get them launched, and they go on to find very, very good research opportunities in our disciplines. So we provide networking, we provide a good full day of content, and in the evening we've taken the participants down to the Smithsonian museums and suggested other opportunities that might be available here in the DC area. So it is a full week, but I don't know of any individuals that have gone through really any of our workshops for any of the three courses that felt that for one reason or another their time was wasted. Most have been very complimentary, and of course we do an evaluation so that we hope that next year will be even better.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. This is Van again, and I just want to remind everyone that this is a 5-year partnership between Second Nature and AMS. So if you don't think you can plan for your institutions to participate in this year, please still contact Beth or Jim or me anyway, so that we can keep you on our contact list and to send out reminders and information for the following years, the upcoming years, if you're interested in applying then. So.
And more information is on this website that I have pulled up, campusgreenbuilder.org/AMS-Second Nature. And I'll do a final call for questions from the audience if there are any other questions for AMS, Second Nature, or our panelists at this time. Okay, excellent. Well, you can contact either Van or Jim and Beth at AMS, and the contact information is listed on this website. Information is at the bottom here on how to apply, and then contact information for both organizations. And the contact listed here for Second Nature is Ashka Nayak, our now director of the ACU PCC program. You can contact either her or Van Du, which is vdu at secondnature.org for more information. And we'd like to thank all of the participants today for learning more about this AMS and Second Nature partnership. Jim, do you have any final thoughts or comments to offer before we sign off?
Well, I would say this, that our partnership with Second Nature in this endeavor is one of the most meaningful partnerships we've ever had, and we're very, very pleased to be part of it, and we're very happy that it's going to stretch out for several years more. And, you know, really feel free to communicate with us if you have any questions, and we're delighted that you spent some of your valuable time today to join us. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. This is Sarah Brylinski, Director of Climate Resilience and Educational Programs from Second Nature, and we appreciate your participation. Please follow up with any questions you have, and we'll be sending an email to all participants today with a link to the recording of this webinar and more information about applying. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. You too.